Welcome back, my friends. Shake the rain off your cloaks. Draw near the fire. Last time, we spoke of the lion's sword, of blood, and of courage. I know many of you have been waiting to descend into the dark, damp corners of the Chamber of Secrets. But before we can understand the venom of the serpent, we must first understand the mortar that held the massive stones of that castle together, the earth. Today, we are going to talk about perhaps the most misunderstood, most underestimated founder of Hogwarts, Helga Hufflepuff. For years, they told us that Hufflepuff was the house where the students nobody else wanted were thrown. A weak house, consisting only of badgers, the color yellow, and the kitchen? My friends, if that is what you think, you are forgetting that history books are only written by those who boast. If your mugs are full, prepare to witness how true power sprouts not from the edges of swords, but from the deep, quiet depths of the earth. Remember Decimate Century England. For wizards, that era was a brutal war for survival. The slightest mistake meant burning in Muggle fires. It was an age where the strong survived and the weak were hunted. Literally a merciless time. Helga, hailing from the broad, windy valleys of Wales, grew up in this dark age. Godric fought with his sword. Salazar researched dark magic in the dungeons. Rowena studied ancient scrolls in the high towers. But what did Helga do? Helga tilled the soil, deciphered the language of plants, and healed the shattered, terrified people of the wizarding world. When Hogwarts was founded, the founders began to argue about who they would take into their houses. Godric stood up and declared, "I will take only the bravest." Rowena insisted, "My students must be the smartest." Salazar slammed his fist on the table, stating, "I will take only the purebloods, the nobility." Then Helga stood up. She looked at the other three founders with her wise eyes and spoke that historic phrase, "I'll teach the lot and treat them just the same." Helga Hufflepuff was the only true teacher at Hogwarts, my friends, because a teacher's duty is not just to select the gifted, but to take the seemingly untalented and polish them like a jewel. The Hufflepuff house was not a dumping ground for the leftovers. Hufflepuff house was the ultimate fortress of merit, equality, and unwavering loyalty. Those who tour Hogwarts always talk about the magnificent feasts, the tables groaning under the weight of food. But very few know the true secret of that kitchen. Helga Hufflepuff wasn't just a master of herbology and potions. She was the greatest food magician of her age. The recipes for all the traditional feasts eaten at Hogwarts today come directly from her own parchments. But Helga's greatest legacy to the kitchens was not recipes. It was a rescue operation.
In the wizarding world, house elves were enslaved and tortured in the manners of noble families for centuries. Helga could not stomach this cruelty. She brought the abandoned, abused house elves from all over Britain to Hogwarts. She built them a massive sanctuary in the school's kitchen where they would be safe, where no one could raise a wand against them, and where they would find honor simply in their work.
The Hogwarts kitchen wasn't just a soup kitchen. It was a safe zone Helga established for those small, innocent beings. When Hermione Granger founded SPEW centuries later, she didn't realize whose footsteps she was actually following: Helga Hufflepuff's. Every founder left behind a legendary relic. Helga's relic, however, was not a symbol of power like swords or diadems. It was a small golden cup engraved with a badger, symbolizing life, abundance, and hospitality. Hufflepuff's cup. This cup possessed the magical power to enhance the properties of any liquid placed inside it. Helga used it for years to distribute healing. However, objects created with the purest of intentions always whet the appetite of the darkest minds. Centuries later, the cup fell into the hands of an elderly, ostentatious witch descended from Helga named Hepzibah Smith. And that witch, utterly clueless about the dark arts, showed the cup off to a young, handsome, and highly manipulative shop assistant just to brag. That assistant's name was Tom Marvolo Riddle. Voldemort murdered Hepzibah by poisoning her, and he framed her own house elf, Hoki, for the crime. He stole Helga's greatest legacy and twisted it into the most disgusting object in the wizarding world, a Horcrux. Think about it, my friends. The most sacred object of a woman who saved the house elves, who championed loyalty and kindness, became the prison of a torn soul, sacrificed for pure evil while a house elf took the blame. History is sometimes incredibly unjust, and the legacy of the most innocent is stained by the bloodiest hands.
When that great clash between Godric and Salazar happened, as the walls of the castle shook, the person who stepped between those two legendary forces and prevented Hogwarts from completely collapsing was Helga. When Salazar left the school while Godric mourned clutching his sword and Rowena withered away from grief over her daughter's betrayal. The unbreakable will that kept the school standing belonged to Helga Hufflepuff.
She was the heart of the founders. If she had stopped beating, Hogwarts would have fallen long ago.
The story of her house ghost, the Fat Friar, perfectly reflects Helga's soul. The Fat Friar was a joyful wizard who spent his life healing muggles with his wand. He was executed by muggles simply because he cured the pox that had entered the church with nothing but a poke of a stick. Even in his final moments, he forgave them and returned to Hogwarts. That is the essence of a Hufflepuff. No matter how much you suffer, never give up on doing good.
Look around you today. The world needs the courage of Gryffindors, yes, the cunning of Slytherins, the intellect of Ravenclaws too. But the world cannot turn for a single day without Hufflepuffs, those who will stand shoulder to shoulder with you in the darkest moments, who will never sell you out, who will do what is right without expecting glory or fame. The earth is patient, my friends. Swords rust, diadems are lost, intellects are forgotten. But the earth, no matter what you build upon it, will continue to carry you. That is all from me for tonight. We have seen the bright and compassionate side of the founders, but now it is time to descend into the water. In our next video, we will be guests in those deep dungeons, speaking the tongue of serpents, visiting the true master of betrayal, Salazar Slytherin.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and discuss tonight's warm tale of loyalty in the comments. Until we escape the Dark Ages, take care of yourselves.